Anyway, this is part 2. So you know, getting Ducksworth, I thought it would be so disparate, but it doesn't. It connects. You got Ducksworth, you've got you know, interviewing Pete, and you've got the Iran-Israel war. You've got the the Trump project 2025, 36 that he's done, possibly 37 now. We're back to 36. Tying all that in with inside trading, even, to cover their tracks, and all ties together perfectly. How did I, spoilers for my franchise, so how did I tie it up? I tied it up, okay, so how, well, Pete did the attack on Iran. Of course, this is all Trump. The whole thing with the, wanting to, supporting Israel. It's all, it's all overpopulation. My theory, of course, EMF causing overpopulation. When I say, of course, I mean, my theory, I shouldn't say of course, but, so the heritage thing is just total racist. It's white nationalism. That's the thing. Palestine is the non-white angle component, and the white angle would be the Jews. They have a shared foundation of the Abraham. Technically, even the Muslim, the Muslim is also there. It's all Abrahamic. These three, but I mean, the Christian Bible is used. I think they all use. That's right. They all use the Old Testament. They all share the Old Testament. But if they had to pick a side, they would pick it more with. Well, they would pick it with Israel. But I think it's mostly because of the banking. Yeah, the banking. All tied to the dollar. The moon lie, everything. More lies. So they can trick everybody. They don't have to trick. We got. America is so much better than every other place, land-wise, in many ways, but I guess they have to do it for some kind of like buffer zone. They think it's stupidity, it's fear, it's they don't have to lie. They lie, it's greed. That's the whole thing. It's greed. It makes no sense. They're propping it up out of fear. It's got to be fear. I mean, it's like, this can't be the right way to do it, right? This kind of war, is war right or wrong? I mean, it makes no sense. They do it so that, here's the thing America doesn't get, or a lot of most Americans don't get. It's almost like we're the slaves. We think they're the slaves, we're the slaves, because America has no vacation times. I mean, barely has some vacation times. So the rest of the planet, it's a balance. They have tons of vacation times, but they have at least twice as much overpopulation. So it's a balancing thing. So I guess where it meets up is with this war thing. So it's inevitable. They don't have to. It's the way they go with it. It's like with cockroaches. I use the sticker bait. I don't want to be cruel, but a war is a war. You can't have them, eating all your stuff, and that's why you keep a place clean and stuff. As long as they're outside, fine, but not inside. I haven't seen any outside. Okay. So anyway, it all ties up together. All this convoluted stuff, and perfectly fits. I thought I would have to like really pound it in to get it to fit, but no, it's a perfect fit. It perfectly fits the story. Wow. Okay, so, and my story works in truth. So what we've got here is actual, and we got a really actual possibility of nuclear war. The conventional war itself is horrifying. They can actually launch missiles towards America. People now talk about cyber attacks, infrastructure, insanity attacks. Energy prices going up, the oil and all that. But of course the biggest concern is the nukes. But conventional missiles is really on the table. All my metrics say this is it. This is the big one. And spoilers. Here's the thing that made me realize within this past hour, and especially here's the tie-up. Here's the key to all this. Is the heritage thing. Reading about it. These white, they're radical white. So me trying to use reverse psychology didn't work because they're listening directly to the reverse psychology. I have issues with the Bible, with the inconsistencies, but these people, they don't read their Bibles. These Christian nut jobs, they don't know the flaws of the Bible. So when you're like parroting, sarcasm, tongue-in-cheek, I don't lie, but I'm using like this other kind of method that's like, subtext, and they don't get it. So that's what, now I realize my concern was they might take the information and do the wrong thing with it, but now I realize in what way they would have. Now I realize in the past hour how exactly they do it. Well, because looking at the reading more into the foundation of the heritage, integrating into the story directly. When I was taking it directly and putting it in, it's and simply notice, thinking in my mind Pete with his crosses on his stomach. What's her name? What do you call it? This press secretary, Cahllenger, with her cross the first day. I mean, they're like crazy white, these crazy Christian people. They're literally taking this information. They're looking at my, they might not call it that, or maybe unless they heard about it or it's been reported. I call it the goddess constant. So they're thinking, okay, this guy's seeing all these. These spiritual number, the spiritual number that keeps popping, the spiritual coincidental thingy. All signs point in some kind of apocalyptic event, and they're going to go with it. Because all the metrics this is a perfect fit for holy war. I didn't say holy war, but I said apocalyptic. But yeah, this is exactly the numbers for a holy war. The Bible is, overall, it's a historical book. Yeah, there's a lot of mess ups in it. But that's what was used for what I call the Flamesteed prophecy in Halley's Comet. He used the Bible. Newton used the Bible. It was all numeral. He used numbers. I think it was numbers, words, something. He matched it up. And he is the guy who created what? He created, what do you call it? Quadratic equations or something? Or the very foundation of the math, gravity, everything. This is, so this is like outside of anyone's kind of influence, looking at these numbers, right? Does that make sense? In other words, I'm taking these numbers, when I say influence, I'm saying nobody's influencing me on these numbers. I'm simply observing and researching. Nobody's giving me any of these numbers, unless you talk giving as in they're uploading it, but they're not like. So not in that sense. Someone might say that somebody's giving these people. Yeah. So in the sense that they say that they put it online, they're giving it to the people. Yeah. But I'm talking about like a directly giving. No one's directly giving me anything. With this 36 thing, unless you count the search engines giving it to me in that way, but I'm talking about like a human being. Wow. So the worst scenarios is as I said before, nukes, or second worst would be conventional. And then usually it's a mundane thing, it's like what they talk about, as happened before, infrastructure, cyber attacks, all that. But it's a 6-month waiting period. After 6 months, about 6 months and a week, that's it. The numbers end. 1, 2, yeah, we got 7, 8 days, about a week, 6 months and a week. So I don't know, it's literally a literal countdown. every single day something. That's why it was kind of quiet the past couple days, because they were ramping up for the attack. They even did a thing where they a misdirect. They sent out 2 planes in the opposite direction or something. So if now that I realize that they really are Christian nut jobs. God, dear God. So if they find out about this God is constant, if not already, then what are they going to do with this number? They don't know how to utilize it. I don't think they know how to utilize it, because they're overall stupid. So I mean, they might be relying on my information. The AI could be, using it in some way and reporting it back to them. The AI itself, though, they don't know the actual source. So in other words, my stuff is somehow influencing this in some way. Everything has an effect, regardless of how far away it is. Everything has an effect. Not everything's connected. So my concern is somehow my information, whoever's watching this video, it's affecting you. Whatever decision you're in, like the butterfly effect. And those wings flap, flap, flap. Right now, I can't be using any reverse psychology, not at this point. I can't even reverse psychology myself. The demons I'm trying to expunge out of my body. I really am. The only thing is to detox myself. Get away from all the Wi-Fi. Get my mind clear. But nobody wants nuclear war. As much as I can't stand people a lot of times, I still love people, but the thing is, it's like, I do have to admit it, the demons are still in me, which I think they are. There's a gleeful point to the end of the world, of course, but consciously, and most of me, I know, doesn't want the nuclear war. So all I can think of is if they're like, if somehow I'm influencing this in a really significant way, then now that I have the variable of them being extreme radical Christians, now now I have to adapt myself to some kind of Christian armor. I have to spiritual armor. I have to approach this with a spiritual mindset, so I can calibrate myself to their mindset, so somehow I can influence it in a way that is positive. I mean, I've been trying to do it positive. Apparently, maybe I haven't been. Maybe I have been doing it negatively before, because I wasn't calibrated correctly to communicate with them. And this calibration would slam itself into the AI, and then butterfly affected in that way. So now, whoever's watching this, we realize we're calibrated. It's a spiritual mindset for the Trump administration. So everything, as long as I put it through the lens of a spiritualness, I can get the message across. Because what they might have done, they see all the metrics. I've been commenting and stuff. Everything is saying metrics, saying some kind of big event. But if I had realized that, if I had consciousness realized that they were radical nut job Christians, they would have interpreted that as, yes, it's a go for World War III. I was actually, what I was trying to do was subconsciously was reverse psychology, in that, you say, oh yeah, he's gonna say, yeah, some nut jobs, oh yeah, end of the world, yeah, and then, reverse psychology would be that they wouldn't do anything, right? If they're not a radical nut job. But if you're a radical nut job, you're gonna see that, oh yeah, bomb a hole, and they're gonna, oh yeah, let's bomb. Yeah, so if I had realized that, I would have, how would I approached it? Well, I would have said, I think I would have said, all my metrics are pointing to a really big event. Actually, I would have simply toned it down and say all my metrics are saying there's some kind of big event that may happen, and I want everyone to stay calm. So I wouldn't have hubrised it. I wouldn't have charisma it. I wouldn't have kachungaed it. I wouldn't have you know, I would have kept them on download and not like acted like in a celebratory nut job kind of thing. You know, in other words, I would have been a lot more civil. They jumped on the uncivilness because that's what they are. They're uncivilized. They're monsters. If you're civilized, you would get the joke. They didn't get the joke. They didn't get the memo. Great. Okay, so now we know that we're dealing with nut jobs. So all I have to do is, like, you know, realize who the opponent is and then adjust accordingly. Alright, so, well, now the cat's out of the bag. So World War III is basically, not basically, it's started. I mean, there's no other way World War III has started. So how are we gonna pull it back? Well, now that we have the calibration, we should be able to walk it back. We have 6 months and a week to literally stop the end of the world. I mean, for real. This is like real as it's gonna get. I mean, I really don't see, now that it's actually occurred, now that I looked at the metrics, because I was thinking, okay, how many times has Iran attacked? I thought, okay, last year, okay, but you know, before that, you know, while you're here with me, let's look at this. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get the. All right. Oh, I have to integrate the parse, all this stuff into. Yeah. This is good info. Let's find out. Okay. In the entire history of the human race, besides these 2 years, no, besides it began in 1979, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1978. It was 1978. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. That is before 1977. Has there ever been Israel-Iran war? Alright, I got a ton of data. Look at all that data I got it integrated into. Alright. Nope, there's never been before and back. Iran and Israel quite allies for another 2 decades after Israel's founding in 1948. Holy shinoli bar. Okay. I was even cahllenger military. Holy moly. Okay. What's any conspiracy, CIA, false flag, there's one sort of the African upper north. Oh no, north. I know Northwoods. It was that's Cuba. This is not Israel. Yeah, I know. But nothing on Israel, Iran. Alright. Is it possible rising population, non-whites, changed America's outlook to be more conservative. Thus, Iran saw this and thus turned on Israel. Guys, but Israel. So. Right. Yeah, that's a. See, my autistic mind can see so many paths. I see the paths. Incredible. I mean, I see paths no one that practically, I would say like 97% of the population doesn't see what I see. It's quite incredible. That's right. I'm top 3%er. They don't see what I see. Incredible. I really forgot about that. All right. Wait, what did I say? I said non-whites changing more conservative. No, okay. I mean, yeah. Okay, whites change. Okay, right. What I mean is by non-whites change white Americas. That's what I meant. Okay. Right. What? Regional strategy, religious ideology, regime survival, opposition to Western imperialism, Zionism, solidarity with Palestinians, desire to lead. Yeah, but it's all about you. That's what I. Okay. So Western colonialism it's talking about. Isn't it talking about US backed powers? Okay, so what Western stuff was occurring and who were US backed powers? The Power Rangers. Spoilers, that 28 days, years later. I'm gonna use that word later, you know. I consider a false word. I use 28 years afterwards. Alright. Continue again. This is more like just simply component resources. Iran, to go south, export Iran, South Vietnam, and so Iran liked Soviet and communism. Okay. Okay, so then overall it was about, there's only one thing it was about then, resources. It's always the resources. New territory. But I'm gonna say this in big letters. Oh, why the flip? Exactly. Why the flip? This is the thing it didn't tell me before. So here we go. The oil, always the freaking oil. Pre-nationalized. Wait. Lawrence Democrat. Nationalized. Near the next Shah. Cleveland 17. Jesus Christ, what about the oil? So again with the oil. Again with the freaking oil. It's always the oil. Jesus Christ, this is bad. It's always the white people. I don't care. Alright, let's find exactly. We have to get the core of this. It's like getting the core of the opium wars. I mean, the only thing I can... Somehow the Asians didn't want to trade, but it's understandable because the whites had nothing to trade. You gotta trade, right? Or do you? Can you give it away for free? I mean, love is free, right? So, they didn't have anything to trade. The Asians didn't want to, share the opium. I mean, I guess sharing means free, right? So maybe the Asians were being selfish, or maybe, you know, it depends. You have to look at the dynamic. You have to look at the specifics. Maybe they wanted something. You know, the Asians couldn't simply give away their silk. They needed something, you know, fair trade for it, and the Europeans had nothing. So the Europeans had to find something. You know, it's a slippery slope. It's a gray area. Eventually, the Asians lost though, because they were drugged. Yeah, the white people did give them something on the opium. They became, you know, drugged. I guess they lost. I mean, right? I mean, eventually they lost. I don't know. So you have to get right to the crux of it. I mean, in some ways you could say it's perspective. You could say the Asians were greedy and didn't share. If they had shared, that wouldn't have happened. And then you could say it was the white people. They weren't smart enough to find something to trade, so it's on them. But who won? Well, I mean, maybe it was a stalemate. You know, the Asians still got to keep their stuff, but they were so, like, basically colonized in some ways. You know, there were concessions, big concessions, huge. But if you look at the track record of white people, it's pretty bad. Let me see. So let's see what happened here. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the key to all this, right here. See, when you get closer and closer, it's like following the money trail. You get down to the core. This is what, and whenever I watch a video and I'll have concerns about it, I can't get out of my head. You go to the core, you research more of it. You face your demons, and you figure it out. And that's what I'm doing a lot with these anti-wokers. When I get to the crux of it, instead of let it bother you, figure it out. It's like with Snarky J. Snarky J, she's young. She keeps, you know, it may take her decades, but, you know, I'm here to guide her. But, you know, I see it. I mean, it's like something in her parents. If I get really to the crux of it, I can figure it out. I'm at decades ahead of her. I can figure it out. I've figured out everyone else. I've actually quieted everyone else down online. The people who I've had issues with. I've basically, you know, instead of running away from this, or not even running away. It's like kind of like half do it in the solution. It used to be, now I do full on. And then I see their ways change. I mean, they're young. They're trying to, you know, they're trying to figure it out. I have the answers. All I have to do is concentrate. All right. So here we go. Let's see. You get closer and closer to this, and then you get to figure it out. Now, is it possible I'm a little off? Possible in some things, but if you get close enough, you know, you get closer and closer, eventually work at it. Or naturally, you know, it occurs again. You simply keep at it until, you know, it gets refined and refined. Okay, let me see what years this was. 1901. Wow, all those years ago. 1901. What years is this? Why does it say 1901? It's going all the way back. I don't know the years. Just let me see. PP was born from that deal. And commercial iron some little bumper and cup. For exploitation. $16 for a mirror. Change. Some shit is our world. Okay, okay. I gotta research more on that. Hold on. Save root echo crossing. Visualizing the Suez Canal. Okay, so 1901. So really 1901 must be 19. Okay, go ahead. Okay, but was the deal done in an evil way? Any trickery? I mean, if it wasn't any trickery, then it was a gamble. You would get down to exploited. Manipulation of balance. Purchase an outburst, but actually strapped. And then coercion of borrowing heavily from foreign powers. His court lacked the legal aid only. Let's install company books and state expenditures, verified 6% share. Or one back one. Okay, they were. Who was borrowing? Okay. Who? Okay. Borrowing heavily. Okay. Do I have anything that's mostly the garbage bags and the food can, right? So I don't have anything else. Okay. Borrowing. Didn't get we could borrow from foreign passport generation on their large courts. These kind of steep price. And when they know travel. When loans are. Okay, so technically so it seems everything was on the up and up, but no one knows really for. I don't want to use the short word, but here we go. I don't know. I'm getting less privy on these false words, so I'm less I'm less a stickler on them. Sure is like the second most used false word, but there I used it. Balance closures. Form consent. What do you mean form consent? It may not have been over first. You can't. Alright, here we go. Imbalance, cohesion. What's cohesion? I mean, I kind of know what it is, but exact. Mechanism of dispersion. What? Cultural assumptions. What is cohesion definition and okay, force someone to do something against their will. Threats, pressures, or intimidation. Come on. Cultures. Non-European award. Their citizens can be tried under Jesus. How was, where was the cohesion? I still don't see it. I still don't see any. I still do not see any force. I really don't. It's broke, isolated, outmatched. Okay. Yeah, but okay, but they were borrowing from foreigners already. They screwed themselves already. Okay, so what should the British have done? They should the RC is British, right? Should they have been more fair to the who was it? The Iranian people, not the rulers, and did the fair deal? That's the way I'm going to be reading it off. Spoilers for my franchise when I go full mobile. You're going to hear me, instead of the AI, read a second AI, because there's like the AI that's reading the AI that's, talking. There's actually two AIs. So like the narrator, you want to say, it's not really a narrator, but so it's all real world. But me talking to AI, same as I would do here when I wanted to speak it, if I do a right click. So that's interesting, isn't it? So in my stories, there's technically two AIs. I mean, you might not even know it, because you might think that the AI voice that you hear might be the same AI voice. I mean, it could be. You don't really know. All right. But I think you would guess that it's, yeah, I mean, subconsciously maybe. All right. That's very desperate. That's goodness. Right. That is one. It's gonna be a long video. All right. Right, got it. Natural. What? Cool. And there's a mint. Tool. Civilized mission hierarchy branch. Is natural. Yeah, normalization control. Shoot 'em. destined to rule others. What? Alright. Imperial definition. I literally thought all it means is colonization. But, alright. I mean, empire. It means empire. Right? It's like government. Yeah, exactly. Empire. Like the Empire Strikes Back. Spoiled. Exactly. Emperor. Prince now. Imperial. Holy Roman Empire. Grand Command. Okay, so what is an empire? The evil empire of Darth Vader. Okay. Let's go back to the Roman Empire, British Empire. All is colonization. So you gotta get to the crux of it. I mean, of course, we always heard these words before, but you know, you hear it comes muscle memory, but like, what is it actually? You know, I'm gonna turn off the light because it's really my eyes. I mean, it's my face, kind of. All right, there we go. Wow, that's so much more relaxing. All right. England drives empires, structure, methods of movement. Imperial mindset. So when you say empire mindset, there we go. Didn't really say, but I'm interpreting it as mindset. Like, you know, imperial empire, so that way. So when you say, I mean, can I say that? Am I being accurate? I mean, AI knows what I'm talking about, but I mean, it is my interpretation would say empire. So no, it didn't directly say empire, but the AI knows what I mean. But and maybe I could be a little bit more accurate with it, so maybe its answers would be more. But you know, it already autocorrects, and I think a human would know what I mean. So when I say, you know, my interpretation of what you're saying is empire, yeah. But the AI would know what I'm talking about, I think. Okay. So we're done. But this is not in the definition. Exactly. This would explain the racism. This is the core of racism then. We draw borders, rewrite laws, or sign century-long research. Century-long research country. It's not just conquest, it's just what is this a category or something well known? I have never heard of this specificity. Yeah, I mean, I've heard parts of it, but not like historians really. Imperial ideology, yeah, interesting. Civilization spirit. Soft power. Hegemonic. Critical history and national relations. Incredible. This is horrifying. This is like white supremacy 101. This is literally white supremacy 101. Now this is interesting. This is stuff they don't teach you in school. Or they do, but it's like under what? I'm gonna have to ask the AI what's this taught. Maybe history class maybe, but we never learned this kind of, maybe we did and I forgot. Let's see, just a worldview. I mean, I've heard of these ideas, but not like in a put together like this. Not that I can recall. I've heard this term, your hegemonic power, right? I don't know what's going on with that. Winning consent. World social. Hegemonic. Is this taught in college, high schools? This mindset. Alright, anyway, I gotta end this video. So, what was I getting at? I mean, I've gone so long with this thing. I literally forgot why I even started. This is supposed to be part 2, right? Everything, yeah, part 2, everything leading up. So, yeah, racism. Point blank, colonial, imperial racism. Jesus Christ. I don't even remember where I got to this from. I'm talking about, yeah, we're talking about Iran. So basically, yeah, we got come down to racism. Great, always with racism.